Everybody, welcome to Morethanmeetstheseguys. We're here on Gobot Day. Here I'm here with Boo of the AxonUnderground.com.
Howdy.
We are episode 7, Psykill's Cataclysmic Trap.
Well, kind of episode 7. I mean, we're watching these out of order,
Well,
but they're actually the best order you can watch them in.
okay.
So,
I kind of
that helps.
well, it was essentially you had the first miniseries, and then you had the last miniseries, and that's like chronologically where they should be set. And now we're going back and watching the regular series.
We're kind of bouncing around though inside the regular series because they
Okay,
weren't aired in the right order.
okay. Well,
And this is the series suggested by the Gobots wiki that I'm going by. So
okay.
everybody check out Gobots wiki.
Gilmont's Wiki is giving us the watch order. I'll go with that. So,
There's a few different ones that people do for like different reasons, and I thought
uh-huh,
this one just kind of fit better because it fits with like character introductions more.
which is great. I was a big fan of all the different characters in this. We'll get
Yeah,
to that. Um, so it is Psykill's Cataclysmic Trap, episode whatever.
yeah.
Um, Not really important, I guess.
It really isn't.
Well, I mean, it's not a
I think
serialized
this is
show, really.
episode 16, like
Oh,
in
okay,
airing order, but
okay. I mean, it wasn't really serialized so much. I mean, the miniseries ones were, but that's it.
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
the trick is there's certain like reveals for characters
okay.
that if you air them out of order, it ruins the plot twist.
Okay.
Like the one in this one, particularly, would have been ruined if you watched them in airing order.
Oh, okay. Because you would have
Yeah.
seen the character that in question in a different episode.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Well, let's just go and get started.
Let's get into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we come starting with Matt piloting the leader one and then being pursued by an SR-71.
Yeah. It's a cool looking plane, the old
Oh,
Blackbird with
yeah.
Nick piloting it.
Yes. Which
And honestly, this reminds me of the first scene on Cybertron in Rebirth, where like Blur and Hot Rod are
mhm.
racing and Daniel's helping Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is he really? Um, but
Well, he
yeah,
helped him win.
well, yeah. Well, just like here. Um, so yeah, SR-71 and apparently it's another GoBot named Snoop, which you find
Yeah.
out.
A new one,
Um,
the newest model.
Yeah, the latest, all the upgrades, all the latest model.
All, all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, so and Matt has to engage Leader One's boosters, his afterburners.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, can't he do that himself? Maybe but he's piloting, maybe just I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not real clear on the piloting aspect of this.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's some kind of military partnership with the GoBots they're
Oh, it
working
totally
on.
is. Yeah. But I don't know why it would
Yeah.
need to get, a Leader One would need Matt Self in there, but
Yeah, they can fly on their own.
yeah, all day long.
Yeah. So, Leader One wins barely, but
Barely.
he's tired. He is like worn out. Like, man, that took a lot out of him. And he congratulates Snoop. You know, like, oh, that was a good race. You lived up to all your expectations. And Snoop is all sour grapes. It's like, well, if I had a more experienced pilot,
Yeah.
I would have won. She's blaming Nick.
Which
And Snoop is a female.
yeah, which you get from the voice, nothing else.
And speaking of the voice, that's BJ Ward doing the voice, who also does Smallfoot's voice.
Oh, okay, that would make sense.
But you'll probably know her better as the voice for Scarlet in G.I. Joe.
Mm, okay. I can kind
So
of hear it now that I'm listening to that.
yeah, and I just did a double check.
Hmm.
She never did a Transformer voice.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so the only like transforming robots she ever did was Gobots.
Hmm.
But she was like, major player in G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
So
well, yeah. One of the major characters.
yeah,
And
so I say then Smallfoot shows up and says General Newcastle wants him back at the headquarters.
yeah, she just kind of does a tumble off of one like the like a I don't know a rock formation jumps into the airbase like. But yeah, it's nice to see Smallfoot
Oh
again.
yeah, she's doing her off-roading.
Yeah, back at Unicom,
But
pronto,
yeah,
as she says.
yeah. And I love how Matt he asks like what's the big rush? What do you need this for? But the way the tone comes across, it's almost like he's annoyed by General Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
Matt. Nick and AJ are kind of like they're kind of like civilian advisors or something because they know the GoBots.
Well, that I mean, they were flying a space shuttle in the beginning,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
yeah,
They're yeah. Anyways,
yeah, they're kind of in an odd spot there.
yeah, look at it this way. Maybe they're like a kind of a Fantastic Four kind of adventure team or something.
Yeah,
Think
they
like that.
seem almost like they're independent contractors.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, yeah,
But so
because we never really hear rank for them or anything.
yeah, I know. And
So
well, they don't. They and really, I think they kind of get away with a lot because they are such good friends with the GoBots. They're
yeah.
guarding.
Oh, they are now. They're definitely like the ambassadors to Gobotron. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
but
appointed by the Gobots, not by our government, but by the
no,
Gobots.
we like them. We're gonna keep them around.
Yeah. So General Newcastle keeps his cheerful demeanor and tells him there's a Type 84 or sorry, Type B4 planet
Yeah,
in the Vega star system, which
and
Vega's a blue giant, isn't it?
I don't know offhand.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a
the they're like, oh, must be maybe it's renegades and you know, and that's when Snoop is like, no, there's no renegade base in the Vega system. They don't go there. And
yeah, they've never gone there before, and they're like,
yeah,
well, maybe they did this time. It's a good reason to check.
and well, that's what rightly I think it's Matt. It's just like, well, that would be a good reason for them to go there. And she is not about going to the Vega system.
Yeah, she tries to talk and said, well, I'll see y'all when y'all get back. We'll have to wait for our rematch. And they're like, well, why don't you come? You're so upgraded and everything. Why don't you could be an asset. And she tries to talk her way out of it. And they basically, they could have done a PSA on peer pressure here.
Oh yeah, this is she is basically like pushed into going
Oh yeah,
because
Turbo
she's
especially is pushing her.
oh Turbo is he's laying like, oh, you're so great, you should go, you be an asset.
Yeah, he's egging it on.
Oh yeah,
It with a smile on his face too, like
he
he
knows.
knows he's messing with her.
He
Yeah,
knows. He's like the man at arms of this team,
yeah,
or the Rhinox, if you will, from Beast Wars,
I could see
or
that.
the Ironhide of Transformers. Yeah. So he's like they get in the command center. God, I'm trying to
Yeah,
think of the
command
name,
center.
and
Yeah,
fly out to the Vegas system. And during that time, you go to the Vegas system,
yeah. To the
and
Type
there's
B4 planet.
yeah,
We
exactly.
never get a name for this planet, do we?
No, I just call it the Vega planet.
Yeah,
Maybe it's the only habitable planet. Like I don't know. We'll call it Vega 3. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, but so what do we see as we approach this planet? Thruster coming in for a
Yes.
landing,
Yep.
and we see that Scorp and Zods have enslaved green hammerhead aliens, and they're mining ore.
Yeah, they look like hammerhead aliens or something. There's another.
There's another one they see later that's more teddy bear looking, I
Oh yeah,
guess,
the
or
furry.
he looks more like Cookie Monster, like a Muppet.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, but all the other ones are like hammerhead looking aliens. So we've got, but they're all like green and furry.
Do you remember the cantina, the one alien that had like the little like he was all furry, had big eyes. He just do like the little thing on his.
Yeah,
Kind of looks like
that dude.
those.
Yeah, he looks like that. And then if you took his fur and put it on Hammerhead from the same cantina, you'd have the
Yeah,
other ones. Maybe that's like sexual dimorphism or something. Like that's a male and females of their species.
maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
But
But
yeah, it's cool to see Scorp out there, and he's saying like, oh hey, Psych Killer, you're here. It's kind of a surprise. He's come to check on the base.
oh yeah, because he's doing an inspection. He's like the emperor checking out the Death Star. He's
He
coming here for
100%
an
is.
inspection. And so everybody's shook up, and they're mining ore that will allow Rogue Star to maneuver into hyperspace.
Yep. So basically, a new synthetic, as they say later on, synthetic new fuel.
Yeah, and we got to mention a Rogue Star again, which is their
Yes.
giant hammerhead shark-looking spaceship.
Yeah.
So
That
Screwhead, who's voiced by Frank Welker, is warns that the Guardians are approaching.
yeah. Which how do they find out? They have really good surveillance.
I'm sure
We'll
they do.
we'll find out.
The Renegades always have really good tech, so
But the The Renegades also have really they're just always on. It's like okay, to reference the other show, one of the other shows we're working on is Mask.
Yeah.
Like they're not the most competent. Like Psych Hill is very competent.
Yeah.
And I think like Fight Tour is very competent. And I think even like maybe Scorpius as well. But
Scorp, yeah,
they have
for
great
sure.
technology and just like no one really there's only a few competent people on the team to actually use it.
Screwhead seems fairly competent though. I mean, he's
I
not
mean,
the
yeah,
worst. He
we, we don't
he
see if he's incompetent. We'll say that.
yeah. Yeah, he doesn't mess up. I'd say that much. But Screwhead here is voiced by Frank Welker,
Yeah.
which you can tell it's kind of a in between Megatron and Skywarp voice.
I'll have to listen to it again just to see.
Yeah. And as soon as I heard it, I'm like, that's Frank Welker. And according, I guess, in for airing order, this was
Yeah.
the first like voiced role for Screwhead.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
know he was in the what was it in the later on miniseries, the end of the show?
Yes. And I believe he's in earlier episodes, but he didn't have a speaking role. He's
Okay.
just kind of background or something.
Well, he was
So,
pretty important in this episode, so didn't have
yeah.
to.
And so then Psykill wants the Guardians to find their secret base. They're all like, "Oh no." And he's like, "Oh no, this is
It's
perfect." Yeah.
perfect opportunity for us.
Yeah.
And
Because this of
so
course is Psykill's cataclysmic trap.
it is. And then we go back to the command center where they're flying through space around a bunch of asteroids, and they get a distress signal,
Mm-hmm.
and in the Vega system, so they're going to fly towards it.
Well, it's a Rigel Miner.
Oh,
It's
that's what it
Rigel
is.
Miner
That's right.
06J, and he's stranded in an asteroid field after meteor damage.
That's right. That's why they get to the asteroid field.
Now,
Okay.
did that voice sound familiar at all to you?
I don't, it didn't stand out to me, but
It was Perceptor's voice.
oh,
And there's a
oh,
reason because we find out it's Scorp. And his minor voice, sounds like Perceptor because he's voiced by Paul Eiding.
okay.
So we've got so much like voice actor crossover. Like these voice actors that did Transformers and GoBots, they were in a win-win situation in the battle between Transformers and GoBots. No
Oh
matter
yeah,
who won,
they
they were
ate
going to
well.
work.
They ate well.
Yeah. And they were
So
doing a little bit of everything in the 80s too. Like they were all the go-to voice actors back then.
that was like the Ocean Group in the 90s.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and now they still show up a lot.
yeah, you're not wrong, actually.
Yeah. Especially in anime.
Yeah,
But yeah,
they really do.
as they're heading out to the asteroid field, Thruster decloaks and blasts a command center from behind and makes them crash onto the planet.
Vega planet,
Yeah,
the
the
Vega planet.
yeah, the
Yeah,
Type
and
B4
yeah, they before
before
and
they
they're
crash.
crashing down and like Psychill's like excellent. No one can survive that crash.
That is always the mistake they make.
Always.
Yeah,
So yeah, the Guardians they crash and they you go back and they apparently like the anti gravity system is
generator.
offline.
Yeah,
So they're all over the place. Scooters
somewhere on the
upside down.
wall. Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere on the ceiling. Yeah. So
and we got Snoop who is pulling some major Sunstreaker energy here. Like, oh God, I hope I didn't take any damage in the crash. Oh, just being a
oh
jerk.
yeah,
And
and then
I also
Sidekill gets words from their. Oh, go ahead.
well, I
Go
was gonna
ahead.
say
Sorry,
I'll say
I'm getting
looking
ahead.
at and it was very evident with Snoop. I think I know why the Gobot faces are so expressive.
Hmm.
They almost look like they're like golden age superheroes with their masks around their eyes, and their eyes
Yeah,
are like the shape of like whatever concern or whatever worry or anger they have. So they
yeah,
look very much like the single like tie behind the head mask kind of
yeah. The
stuff.
domino mask, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Like Robin would wear, or, anyone like that.
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles, yeah. So anytime you see them, you can see the expressions on their faces
They
much more than you can like Transformers.
Yeah, they always gave them like very expressive eyes.
They did. And
And
like Snoop here.
that's Hanna-Barbera's expertise. They know
Yeah.
how to animate like expressions on faces.
Yeah. And Snoop here is very evidently annoyed. He's
Yeah.
just angry and
Snoop is
annoyed.
very vain. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so Psykill gets information from yeah, wasn't it Scorp? Anyway, told him that the Guardians survived the crash, like their sensors or something told them. And he gets really mad, like, how many survived? And he says all of them.
It's super
So like
mad.
nobody perished. Yeah, he gets really mad. So the Guardians are all like clearing out to try to find out what's going on, and they've got to repair the ship too, the command center. So they're all filing out, and Snoop's not there with them.
Yeah, because
And they're
Snoop's
like,
taking
"Where's
care of
Snoop?"
something.
Yeah, and then so Scooter is still in the command center, and he walks up and sees Snoop talking to a console, and Snoop like hurries up and like turns off the console real quick. Was talking to somebody, and you
But
see
not,
for a flash it was Psykill.
yeah, not fast enough.
Yeah, not fast enough, and Scooter saw it, and he's like, "Oh, why were you talking to Psykill? What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, that's right, I'm a spy."
I was a
So
spy the entire time. You never
yeah,
knew.
yeah. So she gloats in that, and then blasts Scooter across the room into the wall,
Yep.
and says, "Well, that'll take care of you." So I guess it's a guardian, not a guardian, sorry, a renegade trait to just overestimate your destructive capabilities.
Yeah.
Because just like Psykill thought they all perished, uh, yeah, Snoop did not kill Scooter. Scooter's got plot armor.
Yeah, you can't. You're not going to kill. This is not the '86 Transformers movie. You're not going to kill your main characters.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So yeah.
There's a Valley of Zods.
Oh yeah. And, well, she comes out and claims that she was delayed because she had to recharge all of her systems.
Yeah.
And well, Turbo last. Well, I guess that's what happens when you have like all the newest like gizmos and stuff.
Yeah. He's just
So
ribbing her about that
oh yeah.
with good reason.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a Valley of Zods, which I mean we only see like three or four of them, but
Yeah.
they claim through dialogue that there's hundreds.
Do you remember when Zods were like, one Zod was like you could destroy everything and they couldn't deal with that one Zod?
Oh yeah. Well, and they still really don't deal with the Zods so much here.
No, they don't.
But
But
yeah, it's hundreds of Zods. That's how scary they are.
yeah.
This place is locked down. And you really got to wonder though, why do they need so many Zods? I mean, yeah, you've got your little organic slave race, but it's not like
Mhm.
they're even a match for the Gobots themselves.
No, they could have had two or three Zods.
They could have like, yeah, a couple of Zods and like Tank and I don't know who else we could throw in there, you know, and they could, yeah, you're like run of the mill Gobots could have kept this under wraps with Scorp and Screwhead running everything else.
Yeah, though so they split up.
Yeah.
They're going to look, so they're looking for fuel because I know they repaired
Well,
the command center.
they haven't got to that yet,
Okay.
but they're just trying to check out. They're trying to scope out the area, find the renegades because there's
Yes.
obviously renegades now, and then if they can, they need to repair the ship too.
Yes.
So, and that's what Scooter was supposed to be doing anyway. He was supposed to be working on the ship, so that's why they're not surprised that Scooter's not there.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So Snoop flies straight into the renegade facility. Like Snoop knows right where it is.
Oh yeah, of
Uh,
course.
yeah, Leader One and Matt are attacked by Zods who knock him out of the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're Smallfoot. Smallfoot's having a great time.
Oh yeah.
She's just
Until
like dee 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 dee, looking for stuff. La 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 la.
yeah, she's getting the scout,
Yeah.
alien planet, and Screwhead shows up and captures her. Like he,
She's like I'm detecting a renegade somewhere nearby, almost on me. I don't know where. And that's when you see Screwhead come up through the ground and attack her.
yeah, he pulled like the aliens thing where the aliens are inside the perimeter and they look up in the ceiling and they're all like crawling. Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly.
but it
Except
was
under.
the opposite. He was underground.
Yep.
So, like I said, they're showing competence in the with the
Yeah.
renegades.
Turbo and AJ are attacked by Scorp and Psykill,
Yeah,
which I love me some Scorp. I actually that's a figure I might pick it up at some point.
yeah. Scorp's one of my favorites. I've had Scorp since I was a kid. Like,
Yeah. I wasn't sure I liked the tank tread feet, but now watching this episode, I'm like, okay, I can totally see it now.
oh yeah. Well, and it works with like from a practical sense of transformation. Like he just has to like unfold, but his feet stay in the same spot.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that weird like flip thing that a lot of them do
He
to
just
get their
stands
feet
up.
under them. Yeah, he just stands up. But yeah, Psykill goes after Turbo and he blasts Turbo and takes him out. And Scorp goes after AJ and gets her easily. And then Nick shows up and Scorp gets Nick too. So
Because Nick and I'm because they have plot armor, I know he's not gonna die, but Nick could have just gotten killed right out there.
he could have been disintegrated like Mars attacks, but
Man, it
Scorp knows
really,
just the setting to knock a human out.
yeah, it really should have happened, honestly. But
Oh
just like I
no,
said,
he has a reason to keep Nick alive.
to oh
Oh,
yeah,
well,
to labor,
yeah, labor. They make them some of the slaves. They add them to their miners.
and they are
That's
not
probably
good
why his
slaves.
yeah, and well, that's probably why his tail is set like that because he's
Mhm.
like keeping organics in line. And if you kill all your slaves, then you got to do
That's
the
a good
work
point.
yourself.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
everyone but Scooter is captured,
yeah.
and Scooter wakes up and calls for the others, and Smallfoot answers and tells him basically, "Shut up! They're gonna find out where you are." Well, there was no order for radio silence, so
Why would there be? I mean, they're just looking for renegades, and then
yeah.
they expect them all to be captured.
And then the humans, Matt, Nick, and AJ are all enslaved in the mine, and they're all plotting and talking about it. And a Zod roars for them to shut up.
Because
He
it
doesn't,
does the whole like, "Roar, roar, roar, roar."
yeah,
All
and
right,
they shut
cool.
up. But here's the thing, you know who does Zod's roars?
Is it Frank Welker?
No,
Oh,
this is Ted Cassidy,
Ted Cassidy.
who you know better as Lurch from the Addams Family
Oh,
TV show in the 60s, and then he was a narrator for the introduction of the Incredible Hulk.
oh, and then he also helped run BotCon for a while. Sorry,
No.
that's a mean joke.
But then he was also in the Twilight Zones to serve man. He was the cannibal alien
Nice.
where they found the cookbook. So
Yeah,
yeah, that was Ted Cassidy. He was on GoBot, so that's pretty cool.
nice.
Yeah, and then we find out there's a new synthetic fuel. The green alien tries to help AJ because she gets like knocked around.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
the green alien, is the fuzzy alien.
the fuzzy one, yeah,
Goes
the
over
big
like
teddy
and
bear one.
tries to help her, and yeah, Nick's like, no, leave her alone. And
Oh yeah, he's swinging a pickaxe at them. They back off, but it turns out they're friendly.
well,
But
yeah.
yeah,
So
A-
good job, Nick. You already
and
ruined our first contact.
right? And then Azad approaches them, and we find out it's actually Scooter using a hologram because that was the only way he could get past the Zods is to look like Azad himself.
Which is smart.
Yeah, that's Scooter. Like I said, Scooter and Wheelie are both Frank Welker, and they suffer from that voice. If they'd
Yeah,
had a different voice, high pitched voices just seem to annoy people.
they do, and that's well, and Wheelie
They
was.
were supposed to be cute characters, and it's hard to have cute fighting robots.
You're not wrong,
Yeah. I
but
mean, you had Bumblebee, but Bumblebee had a normal voice. He had Dan Gilvezan's voice, and he wasn't doing like a silly voice for like kids show. He was doing his own voice, which he has a
which
very approachable voice.
yeah, which you could really see how they tried to get the voice for like Cheetor and Beast Wars because it's very much a Dylan Gilvezan doing Bumblebee. Hey
Oh,
guys, kind of thing.
oh yeah, totally. He
Um,
yeah, he like pitched his voice up so he sounded younger, but
mhm.
not so high up that he sounds silly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think that's what it's the silly voice.
Yeah,
The
it
silly
that
voice
really modulated
detracts.
high pitched voice.
Yeah. Well, and Scooters was I don't know if you ever saw the cartoons that they did like for ABC, and it was about the bungee, which was some kind of little like vacuum cleaner mammoth that they thawed out of the ice or something. And it's
That
basically the
sounds
same voice
familiar.
they did for Bungee.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
And then yeah, and Wheelie was the same voice they did for Toyman and Super Friends, and Toyman was annoying, but he's a villain, so it's okay to hate him. So
Yeah, yeah. But
rule of thumb is don't do high pitched voices for people that you want people to like. Like Waspinator kind of had a voice kind of like Wheelie, but it was okay because you got to see him like destroyed repeatedly.
and also you got to see him just be ridiculous. I mean, not even so much the story, just being
Oh
ridiculous.
yeah, he was comic relief, and it
Yeah.
works for comic relief. But when you want someone to be taken seriously, you got to give them a more normal voice.
Yeah, and that's
So anyway, so yeah,
yeah,
Scooter so far is. Oh, go ahead.
No, he's being the
You're saying?
most competent one here. He's
Yeah, I was saying that's what I was saying too. Scooter is the most competent. We deal a lot with competence of these characters.
we
It means
really
a lot to
do.
us.
I mean, what the thing is with 80s cartoons and TV shows, you can see the kind of character you were seeing, how they are being written. You can see the kind of character they had different characters were that didn't mean to
Yeah.
say the same thing over and over again. But then a lot of that comes down to like how competently they are written.
Well, and nobody wants dumb heroes. I mean, you can have one as comic relief, but
Sure.
like even people got annoyed with like Ram Man and Orko on
Yeah, oh
Masters
yeah.
of the Universe. Yeah,
Orko
because
is
it's
pretty universally hated, I think.
well, and again, look at the voice they gave him.
Yeah, well, it's also if you look at the not to say She-Ra's a good cartoon either, but you look at the Madam, what's her name, the old
Oh, Madame
witch.
Raz, yeah.
Yeah, matter though that team, Mataraz and the butterfly bear
Oh,
thing,
Cowl,
Cowl
yeah,
and the broom.
yeah,
They were all annoying, but they all had annoying voices.
yeah. And it just some characters are just liabilities, and they shouldn't
Yeah,
be on
yeah.
the team. They should
No.
just be, you guard the base.
And don't break anything today.
Right? And so, yeah, Scooter overcomes his voice with his capability,
Hmm.
but yeah, so and he tells him that not only is, the gravity generator like on the fritz, but the command center's out of fuel.
That's the big thing. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Which is
And
happens to be what they're mining here. How what a great coincidence.
that is, yeah, so convenient.
So they're like, all right, we gotta get some fuel before we can leave here. We're gonna sit there with a repair command center and know where to go.
And then we cut to Screwhead announcing to Psykill that the first batch of barium fuel cells are ready. And I had to
Well,
look that up
well,
because it's hard to hear exactly what he's saying. I thought at first he was saying barium. I was like, and no,
well,
it's varium, which actually is
Bavarian.
close to the B sound. I had to look it up. But yeah, varium is the fuel they're using. And apparently varium shows up maybe a couple more times.
Okay.
Yeah. So
It's a
that's what
good
the
it's a
important
sciencey
fuel.
sounding word.
Yeah. So the fuel cells are ready, and Scorp discovers that the slaves have escaped, and they collapse a tunnel onto Scorp and start a rebellion. And Psycho
Yeah,
gets mad when he hears there's a rebellion,
he gets super mad because he needs this stuff mined, and
even
it's
though
a
he's a
furry.
renegade himself. He should know all about rebellions.
I'm a renegade myself.
Yes.
Uh, there is a they are leading a furry rebellion.
Yes.
Scooter helps the aliens escape. He's like there's like this almost like this big mine car, and he's pushing with his jets on his feet so fast and
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
see what's ahead of him.
Oh, well, before that, though,
Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
they prepped a boulder drop trap and dropped it on Screwhead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's how I took it because Screwhead went to go help Scorp and they dropped, and then Scooter, yeah, rockets out a bunch of the slaves in a mine cart, like Indiana Jones style.
Except he doesn't look where he's going.
Yeah.
He hits like this. It's like these barriers, and they fly out. Very Hanna-Barbera, cartoon style, and they fly out into a conveyor belt that has rocks going into a rock crusher.
Yeah, he was so happy that he knocked Psykill down when he
Yeah.
blasted through that he was gloating and didn't watch where he was going. Yeah, and launches him right into a conveyor belt for an ore crusher.
Yeah. Good
And
job, Scooter.
yeah, so Scooter just lost his cred for being competent.
Snoop pursues Leader One in like a rematch race and fight thing.
Yeah, she reveals herself to the other Guardians as a renegade, and yeah, Turbo rams her,
Yeah.
knocks her down. Because yeah, they were breaking out. They were getting out of the what was it, Nick? Nick turned off the bars, the energy
Yes.
bars. So she was going to try to stop them from escaping,
Uh-huh.
but Turbo rams her, and then she fights Leader One again.
She does. She
And
kind of
then
they have
this is exactly how I wrote this.
kind of a dogfight.
Oh, I was gonna say Scooter's dumb. Yeah, they have a dogfight, and I literally wrote, Scooter's dumb ass mindlessly slams his cart full of slaves right in the ore processing unit, and they're in danger to being crushed and chopped up. And then while they're fighting, Scooter struggles to levitate the slaves from above the ore crusher. Like all he had to do was scoot them to the left or the right of the conveyor belt. Now he's got them over the ore crusher, which
And
is
he's
decorated with a scary face on top. Did you notice that?
I did notice that.
It's like a giant monster face with a. I was like, Gotta love Renegade design.
Yeah, he's struggling. He's straining to hold them all up because they're just too much weight for him.
Yeah,
He's doing a thing where he's right above the big opening, and the opening's right here. He's right here, and he's slowly going down. Like
yeah.
it's almost like a Bond villain, trap at the end. Like it's slowly happening.
But they were in front of it on the conveyor belt. All you
Yeah,
had to do was grab them and just move them off the conveyor belt, and they'd have been fine. But no,
I
let's
know. It's
take them
almost
to
like
an even worse place.
it's almost like they decided to change the design of the conveyor belt and after the commercial break or something.
I just think Scooter made a bad flight decision.
Yeah, he grabbed them. Let's go, guys, and flew up and like, oh, y'all are too heavy. Oh no, we're in a worse spot now. Yeah,
Yeah, and see, all of Scooter's competence is out the window now.
yeah.
Like he'd built up a lot of good cred before, and it's all gone down the ore crusher.
Like he's about
So
to with all those fleshies.
yeah, so leader one draws Snoop and low into a canyon, and then back out. And where does she crash?
Well, she hits the
Right into
ground,
the ore crusher.
does a tumble, 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 and falls right into the ore crusher, and yeah, the whole thing explodes,
Yeah,
and so it
yeah, and
explodes,
it.
and all the little aliens of the furry and like hammerhead aliens
Mhm.
all kind of fly off in this explosion. Like they some of them died. So
Apparently not.
well,
Apparently it just gave them a nice push out of the way.
I know exactly. We're talking about 1980s cartoons.
And the only person who suffered from it was Scooter, who was buried under a bunch of debris.
Yep.
And
Oh,
then
Scooter.
leader one, Matt, and the slaves run over to unbury Scooter.
And then they see that there's a fire going on at this facility.
Yeah,
Wait.
approaching the barium fuel cells.
Well, they're like, we gotta get out of here, and like, but wait, look at that. And they find the varium fuel cells all stacked outside of
Yeah,
the chamber. So they grab those and go to the command center, fuel it up, and get out of there really
yeah.
fast.
And then hundreds of Zods menace them as they are going, but you only see three of them.
It kind of reminds me of on Starship Troopers when they're flying out of there, they're escaping all the bugs, and all the bugs are like,
Yeah,
as they watch them fly off. And Scorp is big mad.
yeah. Scorp fires his tail and gets out of the collapsed debris. And
Yep.
here's Screwhead. And I was like, Screwhead should have got out maybe a little faster. But he pushes out through the rubble and declares, "No rock has ever stopped me," which, you know, it's a point of pride with him at this point.
Yeah. But seeing Psykill roll up on a motorcycle with his head stick up will never not be silly.
Oh, I know. It
It's
always
like
looks
he's holding on
odd.
to his wheels. He's just like, hey guys, did you find what happened to the
Yeah,
Guardians?
I'd have rather they like had his headlight flash or something, you know, but that was
Yeah.
always like the pet peeve I had. And I think maybe that kind of hurt the show a little bit
Oh yeah, I did.
because they
And
would always just have his face pop up.
I the only one who I see can really get away with it is Scooter, just because he's a friendly little moped.
He's a goofball, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it makes Psycho a lot less menacing when you see his head pop up. What's the
Well, and
status?
they went out of their way to put Scooter's face there because it is not there on the toy.
Oh no, not at all.
It's under the fender on his front wheel.
I really think that they did that really too. They wanted to have that one you call it the lens character, like Bumblebee would be for
Yeah.
G1. They
Yeah,
wanted
he
that
was the
one character
buddy.
and they wanted a friendly face on him.
Yeah. Yeah, you needed to see him emote because
Yeah.
he's the buddy character you're going to see the most of.
And all the other Guardians and the Renegades, whenever they are talking, they do like the flashing thing when they're talking.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you know what
the
it is? It's cycles they do that too. It's a scooter and a motorcycle they do
yeah,
that with.
true.
They don't do it to the cars and
The
the
Jets and
planes
stuff.
and stuff. Yeah.
There's a great end to this. They so
Yeah.
all they rescue all the aliens and they fly off planet. And
Yeah.
they're like talking like, ah, look at there's the planet here where your home is, and they watch it as it explodes. They're like,
Yeah.
ah, and
Well,
that
we don't know
reminded
if it
me,
was actually their home, but it's whatever it was, it was gone.
it's gone now.
Yeah, the whole planet exploded from the varium fuel depot or refinery going up.
Yeah, it's
So,
reminded me that scene in Fight or Flee. I sent you the clip. Yeah, Vega really is beautiful. All right, give me the bomb.
yep. Oh, totally. Yeah. And then, yeah, because it was a fuel depot, so you had to
Yep.
destroy it. It's like the same thing as Paradron. And this was like well before Paradron, before
Oh
Fighter
yeah.
Fleet was written. So, Gobots beat them to it again.
because
But
they were
yeah,
churning them out.
then we see Thruster going the other way from the planet with Psykill,
Mhm.
Snoop, Scorp, and Screwhead. So the bad guys escaped and they
Like that.
vow to return, but all the Zods were destroyed, so that was also good too.
Yeah, I mean, they'll just crank out more Zods.
Yeah.
It's like the Zods are like basic programming, like, do what we say and here be menacing.
Well, now they can churn them out more. Like it was more difficult for them to make them at first, like it was a big deal in the miniseries,
Yeah,
but
now
they've got
like
it
maybe they
down now. So
perfected the art. Who knows? But you really,
without hypnotizing the entire planet.
yeah, exactly. Man, so we just had recorded while we're doing this, we just recorded Mask episode 5, Venom, Video Venom, whatever.
Yeah.
This is so much better of a show
Oh,
than
it
Mask.
is. This was like a breath of fresh air after going through Mask.
It was.
And
And while Mask has good animation, this is actually a much better animation.
it's more consistent.
Yeah.
And, like I said, it's a different style. It's not
Mhm.
anime style like Mask and Transformers was,
Yeah.
but it was still good. Like I said, GoBots gets a lot of flack and has always gotten a lot of flack that it doesn't deserve.
No, it doesn't. It's only because we were kids and we had Transformers, and Transformers had more complicated robots. They're more expensive.
Oh,
You
I
can,
love Transformers, but I always love GoBots too. I never like switched sides. I always was a GoBot defender and got flack for it. But I'm like, hey man, these are metal. Look at this. I can hit you with Psykill and you're gonna bleed.
I- I'll say like I love me some Wind Charger. Just happen to have him
Yeah.
here with me. So one of my Wind Chargers. Here's Wind Charger,
Hmm.
and here's Hans Cuff. About the same
Yeah.
size. Hans Cuff's a little bigger. Hans Cuff will take out a window.
Yeah.
Wind Charger will bounce off of it.
If you throw Wind Charger at somebody, Wind Charger might break.
Yeah, very
If you
likely
throw
will.
Hans Cuff at someone, they're going to the ER. They're getting stitches.
Yeah. It's yeah, Hans Cuff is about as I mean he's like he's an old, like, I guess probably early 80s Crown Victoria police car,
Yeah.
and those things are solid. You see them all everywhere, and the toy is no different.
Dude, and even like with the Super GoBots, which are on scale with the larger Transformers,
Oh yeah.
like there was a lot more metal in them.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, if you throw like Super Leader One at somebody, yeah, they're definitely getting stitches.
Which I have him right over there. Yes.
Yeah, he's heavy.
He's heavy. I actually saw
And
I saw a
you get one like
cycle.
yeah, you get one like Destroyer. That's really gonna mess somebody up.
Well,
So this episode was the 16th in airing order.
okay.
Okay. And in a previous episode, it clearly showed Snoop as a renegade
Okay.
if you follow the airing order. So that's why it was important that we watch this one now.
Okay.
So it preserves the surprise for Snoop.
Nice, since I have not watched these in, probably 40 years.
Yeah. And this episode really makes you want a Snoop figure.
It
Like even
does.
you said, like, yeah, I want to find Snoop. Well, good luck because Snoop was never released in the US GoBots toy line from Tonka.
Of course it
Uh,
wasn't.
yeah, she was released later in Australia, and in Europe, she was released in was it the Robo Machines line and named Sky Spy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and there are production photos and samples that show she would have been number 43 in the GoBots numbering system because all the GoBots figures were numbered.
Yeah.
Like they had a release order. And she was listed as number 43, right in between Twin Spin and the like that navy blue leader one they did.
Oh yeah. I like
Yeah,
that
he
version a
was
lot.
44. And as it is, if you look at the vintage GoBots line, there is no 43. She was just skipped over, and nobody really knows why.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
But yeah, she wasn't like replaced with another character or anything. There is no number 43.
Okay. That's
So
very interesting.
if somebody wanted to do a really cool exclusive Hasbro, if you could get that re-released and do a number 43 for the GoBots line, get with Bandai and finally release Snoop
It's
as the
funny.
number
I found
43.
a Snoop snap together Bandai model kit,
Hmm.
which is like still $40.
Oh
But
yeah.
looks pretty good. Honestly. I was just like looking to see availability. I don't even see one on eBay. I see someone's figure with a reproduction stickers. That's it there.
Yeah.
I need to
Look
see
for
one.
like Robo Machine Sky Spy. Look for that one and see what you find with that because yeah, she's a very sought after figure among GoBots collectors because there's a literal gap in the toy line there.
Huh?
And
Not even that.
you know how it is with completists. It'll drive you nuts. Look for sold auctions and see what goes
Oh
on.
gosh, there's a Dan Cougar. I'm looking.
But yeah, she's hard to find, and you're never going to find her as a US GoBot. That's just how it is. So yeah, we need a Snoop figure. We need a Tonka branded GoBots Snoop to fill in our collection, especially if you're like a carded collector. And I've seen some really cool collections where they've got them all up on the wall in order, and there's always that empty space for Snoop. It's like a hole in the GoBot
Oh
collector's heart
man, someone,
because they made her such a cool character.
yeah, someone actually, like I say, this one sold this great looking shipped to Great Britain $9. But
Yeah,
most of the ones I see are like, there's one that's like at least for $50.
yeah. Snoop is one of the more expensive regular GoBots to find because
Of
you
course,
can't get an American one. You've got to get, an import.
big
So
bricks.
it's a real shame because they went out of their way to like showcase her.
Ooh, there's a really nice looking cycle for 100.
Oh, how perfect is it?
Engine and everything.
Yeah, having a complete cycle. Everybody lost the wheels in the engine.
Yeah,
I'm
both
happy
wheels
to have
and the
mine.
engine. Yeah, let
Which
me.
again, Sidekill was like my first transforming robot toy. So
I had cycle at one point. It wasn't really anything I stuck with or anything like
yeah,
that. Like I had dive. I had leader one. I had a bunch of the others. I had
I
one of the
like how they solved it with the Super GoBot, where the whole engine was connected to the wheels and
that was a
folded up
smart way to
around the
do it.
back. Yeah,
Yep.
so there was nothing to lose off of Sidekill. I just
Yeah.
wish they'd have done the cool. I like the black and green color scheme they did for him later when
Oh
they did the
yeah.
recolors.
Oh
And I mean,
yeah.
those are like true like villain colors. He looked good in that,
It looks
and like
great
his
in that.
white parts are gray. And I
Huh.
wish they'd have done a Super GoBot version of him like that. I've seen like
Mhm.
customs, but I don't know of any like official Super GoBot Sidekill with that.
Ah, man, my other favorite GoBot I had growing up, Tank. If you actually have all the pieces, he's expensive too.
Yeah.
His guns.
Even if they did like a Snoop with like the new Machine Robo line they'd been doing a
Oh
while
yeah.
back, you know, give us a third party like they did with Toe Cutter.
Yeah.
Give us a big old like masterpiece Snoop.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Buggy Man. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good market to like shop for GoBots because
It
they're
is.
not as expensive as Transformers, but it feels like there's a lot of uptick in the interest in GoBots now.
Yeah, I saw Patriot Prime all over it, for
Yeah.
instance.
Well, and it's not just him. There's several that are like diving into GoBots because it seems like a lot of the Transformers ground has been covered.
Hmm.
And if you want to do new materials, you know, look at the characters that have been ignored that were still major players in the 80s. I mean, GoBots was a successful toy line. Everybody wants to act like they just got skunked, but really
Oh
they were
no,
profitable. They made more than enough. It's just Tonka itself, was bought out from under them, and
that's the
they
thing.
and they didn't develop their own figure so much. So like where Transformers graduated past
Hmm.
Diaclone and Microchange figures and started making their own characters. GoBots, at least Tonka side, never really did that. They
Hmm.
burned through like most of the Bandai figures.
Oh yeah, well they
Yeah,
put them out. They put a lot out really quickly, and
yeah.
that you're kind of limiting yourself there.
And they didn't have anything after that except for like Rock Lords. That was like they had to follow Bandai's guide instead of like working with them like Hasbro was with Takara.
Yeah.
So they ran out of steam. They basically ran out of product. And Rock Lords did okay. I remember a lot of kids had Rock
Oh
Lords,
yeah.
but it wasn't enough to keep it going. After they did their
No,
movie, then you know that was it. And I'm really looking forward to when we can finally get to the movie because
the
it
Battle of the
was
Rock Lords.
interesting. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it actually got better reviews than Transformers the movie,
I
oddly enough.
don't doubt that a bit.
Yeah.
But then, it hasn't had the lasting effect like Transformers did, but
No,
still.
not at all.
Oh,
No,
that's nice.
it wasn't as mean as Transformers the movie was.
Yeah, that's probably what you didn't traumatize kids as much. So there you go.
Yeah.
Which I still don't get that, but but anyways, that's another.
I get it, but it didn't really affect me like that because I'd been watching like stuff that probably was beyond my age range.
Well,
Like I was
that's
like
true.
7 years old watching, John Carpenter's The Thing
That's
and
true
stuff
too.
on cable. So I had very poor parental supervision on my television times.
Not watched over really well.
Man,
Gotcha.
I was watching heavy metal repeatedly when I was like, what, 7 or 8.
Ah, the
Eh,
formative years.
Yeah. And so when I saw Transformers the movie, I was like, oh, this is like heavy metal.
Yeah.
The way they had,
Oh, it
the
really was.
soundtrack. Yeah, it really was. And yeah, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And if you watch cartoons like that, and like Rock and Rule and all that stuff, then, you're not so worried about people dying in the cartoon because
Well,
those
yeah, of course not.
movies kill everybody.
Yeah. That's just how that thing goes, man. All your
Yeah.
favorite characters die.
Yeah.
And they didn't
So,
do it to like rehash the toy line. They wanted stakes in a show.
yeah. And Hanna-Barbera is not going out to like
No.
push the limits. They're going to give you entertainment for kids. It's child appropriate. They've been doing it for decades at this point. So,
Yeah. No reason to change things now.
right? I really wish Hasbro would get with whoever's the rights holder, which I heard Warner Brothers is holding the cartoon rights.
Oh, for GoBots?
Yeah, for GoBots, they have it. So, but here's the thing: is they're being bought out by Paramount, who also does the Transformers movies. So maybe
Huh.
we can get some forward movement there, with, like a GoBots cartoon or something. And
Probably not
then
gonna be their top priority, but maybe.
it'd be nice. Well, they've been kind of leaking in GoBots characters into the Transformers toy line here and there.
They've been leaking in GoBots names since the mid 90s.
Oh yeah, yeah, since G2, and then they've been making them more like
Hmm.
the the Bandai figures. And see, Bandai's been working with Takara on some crossover stuff lately.
Oh yeah.
Takara Tomy. So it'd be nice if they could use that as a way in to do some like Transformers GoBots collaboratives.
That'd be cool. Well, I'm not gonna hold my breath, but that'd be really neat. I wouldn't say no,
Well, if Hasbro's listening, yeah,
which I
we
know you
want
do.
Transformers GoBots collaboratives with Bandai so that we can actually get GoBots that look like GoBots, and even like reissue GoBots would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, just to have like a three or four pack, have the
Yeah,
main show characters.
like these Walmart retro
Yeah.
reissues they're doing with
Oh, yeah.
Transformers. Yeah, do a line like that, but
And
maybe
God,
not
with it with
Walmart,
the with the price of oil, let's go back to the metal anyways.
right? Oh yeah, diecast is going to be king again soon, just like in the '70s when all these things were born.
Oh
So,
Lord. Well, that was the cataclysmic Psycho's cataclysmic trap.
and the trap wasn't so much cataclysmic as it ended up in a cataclysm.
The you mean the planet blowing up? Yeah.
Yeah, the
That'll
planet,
do it.
and that wasn't part of his trap, but I'm sure
Here we
he took
are.
credit for it anyway.
Yeah.
We blew up a whole planet to stop the Guardians. What have you done? Because that
Oh,
Psykill's got that spin. He's charismatic.
yeah, that's there you go.
Yep.
Well, in that case, guys, check out the Discord in there. Check out. We're gonna start working on things on the back end for the Patreon and merch hopefully soon. So keep a lookout for that. And
And if you love GoBots, come to the Discord and hang out with us.
talk about GoBots
Yeah,
by all means.
we love some GoBots over there.
Oh God, Jay will love that.
Oh yeah.
So he's all about that as well. If you like
They were
weird,
good toys.
or if you like weird Transformers adjacent things like Chrono Man, Chronoform, all about that too.
Uniform, yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
There
all
was
right,
a
guys.
the '80s had a lot of good robot toys.
Yes. All right, y'all.
think that's about all we can talk about.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is this episode. Until next time, guys. Y'all take it easy. Have a great day, and
Bye.
see you later. Oh my God, let me stop this.